Hi guys, my name is Hamza. I'm a fifth year medical student currently studying in China. So hey, China is finally planning to call back international students. Yes, you're hearing it right. China has finally started to call back international students. So in this video, we'll be discussing the pathway and the procedure through which a student has to go through to come back to return to China, the tickets and this quarantine stuff. And we'll be talking about it's a specific amount of students, like a specific level of students who have been started to they have been sent some kind of things regarding their return. So we'll be talking about that in more details in further section of the video. So hey, as earlier we know that China called some international students back in 2020, being South Korean students, and in 2021 some GTSI university students. But GTSI have a little different case because those people are in a Sino-foreign cooperative institution which is linked between like America and China. So it's a different case, but they were also international students. UK has also started calling back international students in the start of 2021, and now recently Australia in the end of 2021 in December, it has called back most of its international students. So hey, now we think like it's the turn of China calling back all the students. Earlier, I have made a video on GTSI and South Korean students and some international students who have returned back since the start of pandemic. So it will be coming somewhere over here. You can watch that video after this. But in this video, I'll be telling you about some of the screenshots which were rotating on the internet, especially the Twitter screenshots where the coordinator of a Chinese university is asking its students that if they want to return back to China or not. So this thing at the time of December was a kind of rumor or fake screenshots, but now it's a confirmed news that some of the final year PhD students have started to receive emails. These students are from Pakistan, some students from Pakistan, some students from South Africa, some from UAE and these parts. So it's kind of, I think the university is trying to ask the students if they are good with returning back to China. But the thing is that you have to spend all your expenses yourself. The university is not going to bear your expenses, nor the government itself. You'll have to be quarantined yourself. It would be a centralized quarantine period. You'll have to pay for it yourself. The flight tickets are so expensive. You have to pay for it yourself. These all things, if you accept and if you want to return back, so China is being courteous to welcome you back. The university on limelight at this particular period of time is Shanghai's Jiaotong University. But yes, there are also other universities which have started this procedure of emailing particular students of different countries and asking them if they are good with returning back and spend all the expenses themselves. About the PhD students, I want to say is that they have scholarships, like a huge amount of scholarships, and like it's difficult to spend the scholarships on this particular task of coming back, and but it's kind of possible because they are getting the money from the university, like for most of the students. But what about the bachelor's and master's students? And there is no news about this bachelor's and master's students up till now. One thing you have to know is that at this particular point of time, China is very considerate about this Olympics thing, but still it has sent emails to a few students of different countries. We will be very sure about this returning thing in March about this PhD students, and then this baby steps should also lead to the return of international students which who are doing masters and bachelors over here. So now we'll talk about this quarantine stuff. The quarantine stuff itself is also very difficult because you have to stay in the city for around 14 days where you land in. That is to say, you have to spend 350 RMB at least for the hotel for a single day. So this quarantine cost I have covered in detail in this video. You can see after this video, and I'll give a brief introduction to it. You'll be staying for 14 days in the in the city where you have been landed in. The Chinese government will be arranging for the quarantine hotel for you, and then when you will return back to your school, they'll quarantine you for 14 more days, and it's kind of 28 days quarantine. So all this stuff I have covered in detail. You can see in the video. So now let's talk about these masters and bachelor students. See, I know your pain. It's really difficult not returning back for studies to the country you are studying, and it's kind of unacceptable. But the thing is, in this particular situation, you have to at least wait for, I would suggest you to wait for September. And I think these baby steps towards returning of PhD students will also lead to masters and bachelor students coming back. And when once the flights are normal, so I think the prices can also return to a bit cheaper than what it is right now. The ticket for India, Pakistan, it's about like more than 4,000 to like 6 7,000 yuan at this particular time. And this is the thing when you go back from China to your country. But when you talk about from your country to China, it's really, really expensive. Even the people who are returning at this point of time are spending around 11,000 to 12,000 yuan just for returning back. But those kind of people are actually the business and other they have their businesses and they can make money through it. But for the bachelor and master students, it's practically impossible for like spending this amount of money for just coming back to China. But let's see what happens, and I believe that this baby steps would practically lead to all the students returning back. And one thing that we should always keep in mind that this email thing is actually not too official. They have emailed, but this might be a suggestion of returning back. So we have to just carry on our journey as it is going, and we should not delay our plans about anything, and we should not make our new plans about China. It, after you are in China, then you can decide about this. But for now, the life you are continuing, the studies you are continuing, it should be continued the way it is. It shouldn't be interrupted with this kind of news right now because there is no practical implication. We'll see this thing in March, but for this particular time, we have to wait for a while. So with this, I'll end this video. There is one more video. It will appear at the end of this video and it will be showing in the icon, so you can watch over that. It's a particular research about everything which I did about international students returning back. It might be very helpful to you. I'll see you in the another video. Until then, see ya.